Aita for hosting a monster truck rally in a public park. All right. So my friends and I thought it'd be hilarious too. Host a monster truck rally in the park last weekend. One of the guys owns a legit monster truck with 4-foot tires and flames painted on the side because subtlety is for cowards. Another friend rented a smaller monster truck and we figured, why not bring joy to the people? We didn't get a permit because permits are for buzzkills instead. We just rolled up to the park, picked the biggest open field, and went to town. Kids were cheering, people were filming, and my one friend even started selling rides in the monster truck for 10. Honestly, it was going great until the local park ranger showed up. The guy was fuming. He stormed out of his little ranger truck and yelled, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I tried to explain that it was a community event, but he wasn't buying it. Apparently, monster trucks are not allowed in public parks. Something about destroying public property and violating city ordinances. He slapped us with a massive fine and threatened to call the cops if we didn't leave immediately. Meanwhile, my one friend kept yelling, but the kids are loving it. And the ranger was like, "Tell it to the judge." Now half the town thinks we're legends, and the other half thinks we're morons who ruined the park. My spouse says I'm lucky we didn't end up on the evening news under the headline "Local Idiots Rampage in Monster Trucks." Aita for bringing a little monster truck chaos to the community. Alright, so I've been dealing with a trashpocalypse for weeks. My garbage hasn't been picked up in 3 collections. 3. My bins are so full that raccoons are holding late-night raves in my driveway. I called the city about it, but their solution was basically, wait for the next pickup. Great advice. Last Thursday, I heard the garbage truck rumbling down the street at the crack of dawn. I decided, not today. Sanitation overlords. I hauled my overflowing bin into the middle of the street, plopped down in a lawn chair, and waited like a trashy Gandalf shouting, "You shall not pass," when the truck stopped. The driver stuck his head out and yelled, "What are you doing?" I told him they'd been skipping my house for weeks, and I wasn't moving until my trash got picked up. He tried to say I wasn't on their route, but I pointed at the garbage mountains in my bin and yelled, "Does this look like nothing to you?" They finally caved and emptied my bin, but not before muttering loud enough for the entire block to hear. Some people really need hobbies. Now my neighbors are acting like I held the mayor hostage, instead of just forcing the garbage truck to do its job. My spouse thinks I should have just called again. But who has time for polite bureaucracy when you're living in a landfill? Aita for taking my trash vendetta to the streets. Aita for letting a fire truck crush my neighbor's fence. My buddy is a volunteer firefighter, and last weekend, he showed up at my house in an actual fire truck, apparently. They let him borrow it for training purposes, but instead of training, he thought it'd be fun to impress my neighborhood by doing donuts in my yard. Because who wouldn't want to see a 30,000-pound truck doing 6 spins? After a few donuts, we noticed the truck had gotten too close to the fence separating my yard from my neighbor's. I yelled, "Careful," but my buddy was like, "Relax, it's built to crush stuff." And before I could stop him, the fire truck plowed right through the fence like it was made of paper MCH. Of course, my neighbor came storming out, screaming, "What the hell is going on?" I tried to calm her down, but my buddy made it worse by hopping out of the truck, shouting, "Don't worry, Mom. I'm trained to handle disasters." She was not amused. Now my neighbor is demanding I pay for a brand new fence. And my buddy keeps saying, "What's the big deal? It was an accident." My spouse is furious, calling it the dumbest thing if ever allowed on our property, which is saying a lot because I once let another friend deep fry a turkey on our patio without checking the propane tank. Aita for letting my buddy turn my yard into a demolition derby featuring a literal fire truck. Subscribe.